Welcome to our world. Won't you come on in? Waiting just for you. Welcome to our world.
So we're going to begin this Friday edition of The Blend with This Week in History. And
Okay.
Jim has all of them, but I want to... Why do you look annoyed?
No, I'm waiting to see what you're going to say.
Oh, I just wanted to point out to all of
I
our
always
listeners...
look annoyed, by the way.
You do, that's true. To all of our listeners that last week was, if we had done a This Week in History last week, we would have gotten to talk about the Eagles football game situation where we quote unquote threw snowballs at Santa. So if you haven't listened to that episode, just listen to the first 10-15 minutes where we explain what actually happened, or look it up yourself.
Yeah,
because
it's a funny story anyway.
It's a really funny story, and that was that was last week. So what do you have for this week in history?
On this, I'm saying on this day, which is not, it's the day I'm reading. So on December 23rd, 1888, Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh, suffering from severe depression, cut off the lower part of his left ear with a razor while staying in Aries, France.
Wait.
France.
France.
I know the way I said it.
Wait. Two things. We need to pause here. Is there more to this?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Two things.
I'm not going to, I don't know, maybe I will read the whole
The first thing
paragraph.
is Van Gogh is Caitlin's favorite, so she's going to be super excited about this. Second,
excited that he cut off, well, I guess she knew that already, but.
Second, though, you said he cut off the lower part of his ear?
That's what it says. I'm reading it.
Because I don't know anything.
So his earlobe, would that be the earlobe?
Well, this is what I'm saying, because I've always had this idea that it was his entire ear that was cut off.
Yeah, it says, well,
but
actually, there's a link here. I can click.
Ear.
I can click on the link and see where that leads me. Let's see what it says. Hold on.
No, this is going to take too long.
The real reason Van Gogh sliced off his ear. Here's a longer story.
But let's clarify. Did he actually slice off his entire ear?
Well, it was right before, or it was the night before Christmas Eve.
That's so sad,
in
actually.
1888. Yeah.
Why?
A cold Sunday evening in the French city of Aries, when Vincent Van Gogh took the razor he kept on his small dressing table and slashed off his left earlobe.
Okay, well, we're getting two different stories here.
Okay, now here's the interesting thing.
Okay.
Why? Nobody knows.
Can I just say, the way your hair is right now and the way you just turned around and put your hand you look like a mad scientist. You're giving what's his name? From Back to the Future.
Yes.
What is his name? Doc. Okay, anyway. Yeah. So we don't know why he did it. I had no idea he did it around Christmas. That's so sad.
Well, some of the more popular theories include madness, drinking problems, a gory fight with artist friend Paul Gauguin. How do you pronounce that?
I'm not over there. I should know that, but know.
And a desire to be coddled by his mother.
You could. It doesn't say that.
That's what it says.
You could just highlight the word and have the laptop pronounce it. The last name.
I can do that?
Yeah. Highlight it and right click, and it's speech or something else.
Translate
dictation.
Speech. Start speaking.
Go again.
There you go.
Again. Well, that sounds right too. Why didn't it
You didn't know that you could do that?
No.
That's only, maybe there's a setting for other computers, but that's
on a
Mac. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
Or is it always in just a Chrome thing? Anyway.
No, it's not a Chrome thing.
More than 100 years later, it is still the most debated event in the famed Dutch artist's life.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? Well, moving on.
Oh, you have more.
I have a few more. Just a few more. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to remember what they were. Okay. I think there was nothing on this tab that I liked. Hold on. Oh, well, December 25th.
Mm-hmm. Merry Christmas.
1776.
Who?
George Washington crosses the Delaware.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So that was kind of everybody knows that once they think about it.
Mm-hmm.
December 23rd again in
Mhm.
1972, the Immaculate Reception.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Mhm.
explain that. If you don't know it, look it up.
No, you have to explain it. That's the whole point.
I have to click on
no,
it
don't
again.
click on
No,
it.
I
Just read
didn't.
what it says right there. Or does it not say anything?
It doesn't have anything. I'd have to click on it to get the details of it.
The whole point is that we're supposed to be educating the people with this. You can't just tell them, give them the title of something.
Franco Harris, December 23rd.
Which teams are we talking about? This is a football game. Which teams are
It was
we
between the
talking
Steelers and the Oakland Raiders.
about? Mm-hmm.
Franco Harris scored a game-winning touchdown on a deflected pass with less than 10 seconds left in the game. The Immaculate Reception, as the catch came to be known, is often cited as the greatest NFL play of all time.
Incredible. Look it up so you can watch the
Until the
video.
Philly special.
Until the Philly
A
special.
few years back. Okay.
Anyway, what else you got?
In 1955, December 24th, this is 1955, NORAD Santa tracking service begins.
So exciting.
So
Did
that's
you say
cool.
75?
1955.
55?
1955. That's how long that's been going. So that's pretty cool.
That's kind of crazy, and I don't really understand that, but okay.
On a happier note,
Sure.
no, not on a happier note, the opposite. 1865, the Ku Klux Klan was created.
Oh.
It says the extremist white supremacist organization, also known as the Klan, was created in Pulaski, Tennessee
Oh my
by
gosh.
Confederate Army veterans.
Why do such awful things happen around Christmas?
And 1826, speaking of Christmas again, the eggnog riots begin at the United States Military Academy
What
in West
are
Point, New
these?
York,
What
also
are
known as the
those?
Grog Mutiny.
What?
These riots began on Christmas Eve after cadets consumed copious amounts of eggnog made with smuggled whiskey.
Oh,
The riots lasted until December 25th,
wow, super exciting. Okay.
when the spirit of Christmas.
Great job. When the spirit of Christmas. Great job. Those were some exciting ones.
Yeah, there's some pretty
Love
cool
that for
ones.
you.
There were more too.
Well, that's all we have time for today.
We'll save them for next year.
Do you? I guess so. So that means you all know what we're moving on to now. I paused there so I could put Dylan's audio in.
Okay.
Because we're moving on to listener feedback.
Okay.
So we have a lot of feedback. I don't think we're going to get to all of it this episode, so it'll be for later. But I would love to start with someone had commented that there, with a link showing that there actually is a National Slap Your Coworker Day.
Yes.
As we had discussed. And it's on October 23rd every year. So get ready for next year, everyone. And the actual link to this page, what?
It's a good thing I did not know about this before I entered semi-retirement,
Mm-hmm. I agree.
because there are so many coworkers I
Oh.
would slap.
Would you, and I'm sure they're listening right now. So would
Yes.
you like to name
Oh,
any of
yeah.
them?
No.
Okay. Okay, great. So,
Oh, you know who you are.
But this article goes through just like slapping in general in cinematic history, but then it's a funny article. So there's a list that says National Slap Your Coworker Day activities. 1, watch a Three Stooges marathon. 2, perfect your slapping technique. 3, train others on how to give a good slap. And it goes into detail, but I'm not going to read all of that. 5 things to say just before slapping somebody. You're taking who? You bought her a house? I was just trying it out. Fresh. What do the 5 fingers say to the face? Anyway.
Okay.
Why we love, this is the last part of it I'll read and then I'll move on. Why we love National Slap Your Coworker Day. It's a day for revenge. It has rules. Not everybody gets slapped. I thought that was very funny and wanted to read that one.
Kind of like grievances. It's sort of like an airing of grievances.
Mm-hmm.
Physically.
Which you should not do.
Yeah.
Just so, nope,
No.
don't slap anyone. This
Some
is a disclaimer.
People,
We do not support slapping people. Just don't do it.
endorse. We don't
What-
support it, but we do endorse it.
No.
Can we?
We need a lawyer on this show. Moving on. This was discussing our when I had said I think there should be a test that you have to take before you can vote,
Mm-hmm.
someone commented, I don't know what I think, and I'm not going to read this whole comment because it's very long, so I'm just going to read the first part of it. I don't know what I think about the whole people passing a quiz to vote thing. As always, the problem becomes figuring out who decides what should be on the quiz and oversees the execution of that plan in general. I think it's a slippery slope that I wouldn't trust anyone to manage, so it's good to avoid it altogether. My argument to that, well, go ahead. Do you want to respond to that?
No, I want to hear your argument first.
My argument is because I agree with the premise of this, which is that there are a lot of subjective things that I don't think should be included on something like this. But my whole point in saying taking a test, which I think I tried to make clear during the episode, but maybe I didn't, it should be completely objective things. And then you could argue, well, is it really objective? No, I'm talking about 2 + 2 = 4. That's it. It's objective. I'm not talking about, if this happens and I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good economic example right now. Something with like supply and demand. Is this good for the economy or bad for the economy? That's subjective. I'm not suggesting that at all. You can look at things different ways with that. I'm literally just saying, if we want to talk economics, if prices increase for a certain good, what happens to the sales of that good and like the sales of complements or substitutes for that good?
It goes up.
That's it.
The sales go up. People assume it's a better product. They're assuming it must be really good if they're charging more.
Anyway, what is
Okay,
your response to this? That's not correct. Go ahead.
No,
There are some items that happens, but carry on.
Right.
I'm talking about the normal
marketing. It is true, right, that it's a slippery slope. So I agree with that. I guess the thing is, if they were to do that, right, that would have to be probably a constitutional amendment, I would think.
Yeah, maybe.
I would think, maybe I'm wrong. But if it would have to be a constitutional amendment, it would obviously be difficult to get it passed.
But just the idea in general.
Yeah, I think you'd have to include in the amendment the specific questions that would be required to be able to vote, like on your voter registration. Because like you just said, 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 should always be 4.
Yes.
Don't be surprised if at some point somebody tries to convince you 2 + 2 is not 4. And a lot of people begin to believe that 2 + 2 is not 4.
But
that's where the issue
but
is.
That's not subjective. That's my point. At that point, you're taking an objective point and you're trying to I can't, I really haven't thought about this a lot because I'm just reading this comment now, but you can't take something objective and try to make it subjective. That's not, it's just not how it works. And so that's literally my whole point with this.
But everyone has to agree with that. Not everyone, but
what? Everyone has to agree that 2 + 2 = 4?
Yeah.
Who doesn't think that 2 + 2 = 4? Maybe I'm the stupid one here.
I could start bringing up other examples.
4, and that's it.
If this was, obviously this is a
clear-cut answer.
We don't want, I know, but there are a lot of things that,
everyone.
There are a lot of things that you could say like 20 years ago were clear-cut answers that aren't clear-cut answers anymore, whether you agree or not. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know, but
that can happen.
But that's why I'm saying be very specific and be objective. Don't put questions on there that could be construed in a different manner, that could be considered subjective
In today's world.
Sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But 2 + 2 = 4.
I agree.
Have that be the first question on the test so that we can all agree that that's objective, and then let's move on.
I agree. Okay, I don't want to start getting into I'm just saying the only reason I'm holding back because we can't get into all kinds of other stuff right now, but I understand the premise of that point. Landowners should only be able to vote. Property owners, I should say, right? And see, that's how it was originally was. So should it be like that?
No.
I don't know.
No, what? I don't.
Well, originally, only property owners could vote.
Anyway.
Should women really be able to vote? Okay.
I might just leave that silence in here, honestly. We're moving on. I had complained one time about clickbaity articles and the airing of grievances, and someone commented that their example on a clickbait would be articles online that say something like Hollywood Tower of Terror closed, and you click it and it closed for like an hour that day for whatever reason, but that's it. Or like a ride is closing for refurb.
Yep.
I think that's a very good example considering that's where we live.
So it's true, but very misleading.
It's true, but it's so misleading, and that's the issue. That's why we all have trust issues.
Yep.
We had, obviously, this is your least favorite episode, I know, the one where we were talking about why people can't get along. And in that episode, we did not get along at all. And what?
You were in a pretty bad mood that day.
I was in a bad mood that day, so I'll admit that. But I also think you asked the question, why can't people get along? And I gave you an answer and you didn't like the answer. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know where to go. Anyway,
I don't remember what your answer was.
This isn't about that episode. Well, this comment is. We're
okay,
not
what's the
rehashing.
comment?
So
What's the comment?
I think it's interesting that when it comes to debating / talking about something where the two people don't have the same view, it seems like the closeness of the two people actually contributes to the animosity of the conversation. If I'm talking to someone I don't know very well, I never cross the line of respect, and I'm really careful about keeping the peace. But if it's with a close friend whom I trust, I'm more likely to push the boundaries for whatever reason. It's sad because it should be the opposite, if anything. I completely agree with that. I think for whatever reason, we're more comfortable being, I don't want to say being mean, but not being as careful about protecting the other person's feelings when you're closer to them, which is kind of crazy because you're more comfortable talking to them.
And maybe because you take it more personally, right? Like if you say something to me, we disagree on a specific subject, I take it more personally. And then because of that, I have a tendency to attack you. And then it's sort of, it's a snowball effect. Yeah.
And then someone responded, it's not like it's your intention to hurt the other person's feelings, but sometimes that is a result. You're more willing.
It is.
No, it's not. You're more, this person, it's not. You're more willing to take that risk with a loved one, probably because you feel comfortable. There's a level of unconditional love there, and you hope they know you're not purposely trying to hurt them.
I misunderstood. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. So with a stranger, you're not going to get personal.
Yeah. So this person says, on paper, a stranger's opinion shouldn't matter, but everyone wants to be liked on some level. So you keep the peace with a stranger. They're less likely to give you unconditional love. Also, perhaps you care more about getting loved ones to see your side, so you push harder. A stranger, who cares? Which I thought that was a good point, too.
Is that the difference, though, in people that are either more successful or considered kind of like leaders? Like, in other words, are those people less concerned
what other
about
people think?
Yes, exactly.
Feelings?
That's a better way to put it, though. They're less concerned about what other people think because the whole concept of everybody wants to be liked on some level, I think that for a lot of people becomes a hindrance.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, when you say it like that, though, I think it's interesting because I am a huge people pleaser, but because obviously that episode, you and I got in an argument and all that.
You didn't please me.
And I know, but so what I'm saying is I already know that you love me. So it's like, I don't need to, maybe this isn't a great example, but like, I don't need to get that. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but what? What are you going to say?
You were just lucky it wasn't National Slap Your Coworker Day.
Anyway, so someone else commented, also, I think for the most part, the people in power / in the spotlight set a horrible example for this. Political debates nowadays are always so nasty, and both candidates, or all candidates when it's still the primaries, spend the majority of their time and energy attacking their opponents instead of discussing policy and providing a good argument for why they're the right choice. Pretty much any other type of entertainment or news media is the same way. I guess it gets views, but it's sad because it makes us as a society feel like that's normal and respectful when it's really not at all.
I agree.
Great point. No notes.
I agree. And the thing is, I think, with the way debates have been, part of that goes back to the moderators. I think,
right.
If the moderators, as long as the moderators are seen as unbiased and as long as they follow up, like in other words, if you ask one of the candidates a question and all they do is attack the other candidate, I would just keep going back with the same question until I got an answer. I would do it
just ask it over.
I would do it at least 3 times. I would be like, I would literally do that. I would be like, we can stay here all day.
I'll ask again.
Yeah. Let me repeat the question. Can you just answer the question?
What I asked
it should be like a prosecuting attorney. Just answer the question.
Yeah. I think I completely agree with that comment, what you said. What I always thought watching, I it's only the last few years that I actually started watching more debates and stuff like that. But my feelings are always, if your whole platform relies on attacking the other person or the other people, then your own platform just isn't strong enough and you don't have strong enough beliefs. If I felt really strongly about something and I were running for office, I wouldn't care to downplay the other guys and or women or whatever and talk about everything that they would do wrong and all that. Talk about what I'm going to do right. And I don't understand why more people don't do that. And it's like, for some reason, America likes the entertainment of bashing people or something. Why else would people do it? I don't know.
Yeah, I would want to contrast my plan for whatever it was with theirs. So it's not like I wouldn't talk about theirs.
No.
But I definitely wouldn't just get personal.
No.
I think because that to me is, when I watch a debate, that's what I want to hear. If you're talking about Social Security and you have this is what you're going to do and this is what they're going to do, rather than just say stuff like they're going to take away your Social Security and that, like, what are you talking about? Like, exactly what are the plans and
right? I want to know specifics. I think in especially in like a primary situation where you have however many candidates, I don't know how many they actually have, 8 or whatever. Well, whatever.
It could be a dozen. It could be
however many it is,
4.
and they're all talking on stage. I think for me, the most effective thing, if you have everybody infighting and calling each other out, and you have one candidate that is just solely focused on the platform and comparing and contrasting the platform, talking about what they're passionate about, what they're going to do, that would be the clear winner for me in any debate. And it's like, why does nobody do that? I don't understand.
Because the problem is you have low IQ people who are voting, and they don't. You
know what would help with that?
What's
a test?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway.
Exactly. Well, that's it. That's what you need, an IQ test. Which, by the way, I got to throw this in because I mentioned this to you last night. This is actually pretty cool.
You did.
How accurate it is, I guess, is another question. You can now, you have to post, I don't know, on somewhat of I won't say regular basis, but you have to have enough posts or replies on X for this to work or to maybe be somewhat accurate. But you can ask Grok, based on your posts and replies on X, what it thinks your IQ is.
Grok,
and if you just say...
Grok is the AI.
Grok is the
X,
AI, right.
For those that don't know.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, though, because you can just say, based on my posts and my replies on X, what do you think my IQ is?
What is your IQ?
Just give me the
according
number.
To Grok?
It's at 135, which I think is low. I think it's a little low. I think it's 138. Maybe 140 on a good day.
Anyway, moving on. That's the end of our listener feedback for this week. And instead of having an airing of grievances at this time of year during the Christmas season going into the new year, I thought it would be nice instead to have an acknowledgement of blessings.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm calling it. What are you grateful for? I have 3 things.
I mean... Obviously, you could say like your family and stuff, which that kind of...
Are you going to say something funny right now?
No.
Is this going to be a joke?
You think it's funny that I'm grateful for my family?
No, just the way you started that. It feels like you're setting up for a punchline.
Well, no, like that's such an obvious thing to say. Like, I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful that I'm semi-retired. I'm really busy though.
I know you are.
But the thing is, I've been gradually kind of doing less consulting stuff. So that's been going down, which is bad for money, but good for time.
The people don't care about that.
My robot lawnmower.
Most people would say that was the punchline. Most people would say family. For me, it's my robot lawnmower.
I consider it a member of my family now.
I know you do. It's done a wonderful
little
job.
Servant.
I am grateful.
Okay, I've always wanted an indentured servant.
Okay, I am great. That's weird. I am grateful for 3 things and 3 things alone. No, I'm just kidding. Not 3 things alone. I am grateful for a roof over my head, people that love me because I'm a people pleaser.
Wait, let me get the tissues. Go ahead.
And quesadillas. All right. Okay. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Everyone's grateful for quesadillas.
We would love to know. Quesadillas are just so versatile. You can put literally anything in them. You can have them any time of day. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner,
I might have a breakfast
snack.
quesadilla.
It's just the perfect meal.
Yep.
It's an all-inclusive. You don't
What
need
is-
sides, topic. Like there are just so many options.
What does quesadilla mean? Okay. What?
It's a little cheesy thing.
Well, there you go. No wonder everyone loves it.
How could you not all have a wonderful weekend going into it like this?
Helps offset the coffee.
We'll see you on Tuesday, and Tuesday we'll be discussing New Year's resolutions.
Oh, okay. I have to think of something.
Or you don't.
No, I
Maybe
have
it's
to.
all a
I have to
scam.
think of something. My resolution is that I'm not going to. I'm going to pronounce
don't.
NG correctly.
We can't.
Okay.
Don't tell the people now.
Well, you can roll right into the next podcast.
No.
Okay.
Goodbye, everyone. I hope you all got everything you wanted for Christmas, and if you didn't, it's your own
Too
fault.
bad. Too bad. You probably didn't deserve it then.
Oh,
You leave with nothing.
good day.
Let me know. Let me know when you're ready so I can begin.
Did you check the mics?
Can
Are they
begin.
working?
I have checked the mics. Yes.
Is this the mic check? I
Maybe
hate
I've already started recording.
I hate it here.
Hold on.
Let me change the
Okay.
color of my microphone. Okay. Well,
God.
I was going to say some sort of variation of Merry Christmas day after,
Yeah.
but I don't know what that is.
Eve post Christmas.
Merry post-Christmas,
Yeah.
2 days after. Well,
Oh, it's
anyway.
Boxing Day.
Well, when we're recording this,
In Canada.
Boxing Day. So yesterday, for all of you listeners, it was Boxing
So
Day.
yes, the day after Boxing Day.
It's the day after Boxing Day. How exciting.
Finally,
for
it's
us.
over.